my name is Louise and I'm a part of the sales and distribution team for Coral Expeditions, and I'm coming to you live from our head office up in Cairns. We are recording today's webinar and I'll be sending a recorded version to everyone that has registered, so you can share that with your friends and family if you like. I would also like to thank everyone for taking the time to join our Kimberley webinar today, and we'll have an opportunity for questions at the end. Now, today's focus is taking you on a journey with Coral Expeditions to give you an insight of how to explore with the Kimberley experts. For those of you that are new to Coral Expeditions, we've been operating for over 40 years and always with a single purpose, and that's to take a small group of like-minded people to remote places with our expert guides and our warm Australian hospitality. So let's start our Kimberley journey. Coral Expeditions has been visiting the Kimberley for 35 consecutive years now. In the 90s, we completed our first Kimberley voyage as the first ever expedition cruise operator to explore the region. Being one of the original Australian flagged expedition pioneers, this has allowed us to curate the perfect expedition cruise that the Kimberley has to offer. So September last year wrapped up our Kimberley season, so that's September 2023, and we had a total of 52 departures and hosted over 4,000 passengers. This means we are proud to announce that we have achieved an excellent overall satisfaction with 5 out of 5 ratings from 96% of guest feedback, and that's for our 2023 season. And after looking at our 2024 reviews, I think we're on the same track again to receive a better result. So with 4 decades of experience, we do take you into the right places at the right time. We always follow the maps and the tides, and we always ensure we've got you in the best place at the best time. So in true expedition style, which means small groups, no waiting, small numbers means we don't lose the intimacy of the adventure or overwhelm the communities that we're visiting. So with under 120 guests across our fleet, this keeps it small and personal, and the ships have been designed for comfort after a long day of exploring. Being true expedition cruising, we have flexible itineraries and more time ashore, allowing us to go at a slower pace for those seeking to connect with nature, culture and community. And so what can you expect on board with us at Coral Expeditions? It's our warm Australian hospitality. So all of our vessels are Australian flagged and owned, which means we spend more time in the Kimberley focusing on the destinations. We don't need to spend your time going out into international waters and coming back like many foreign lines do. Our vessels are operated by Australian and New Zealand crew, and you'll get to experience the ultimate warm Australian hospitality throughout your voyage. Whether this is enjoying an ice cold beer or a glass of wine on Veranda Beach with sand between your toes, or it could be sunset drinks, or it might be on board our vessel where we encourage a natural Australian style service and an open interaction between our guests and our crew. So when I say an open interaction between our guests and our crew, I definitely mean it. If you would like to head into the galley and watch your food being prepared, you are more than welcome to do this. You might like to go up to the bridge and have a chat and your morning coffee with the captain. You might like to sit with our guest lecturers at meal times, or you might just want to simply sit back, relax, read a book, and enjoy the views in one of our alfresco areas around the ship. So we are all inclusive, so once you're on board, you unpack once, you can enjoy your expedition, and you don't have to worry about any hidden extras at the end. Now, our experts guides on board, we're having guided expeditions in the region for over 3 decades. We know the hidden gems that a lot of others don't. Our expedition team provide local expertise with a strong understanding of the unique landscapes, the flora and fauna, and the Indigenous cultures that we visit. Our passionate expedition leaders are on board and they take our guests on every excursion. So we don't hand over to land-based tour operators, we take you everywhere. We really do spend more time ashore. We try and get on 2 shore excursions daily where possible. So the shore excursions generally have 2 options. In the Kimberley, we have the land-based excursion. We'll be walking on uneven ground. The walks are never more than 1 to 2 kilometres, and we do recommend bringing your little walking poles for the stability on the rocky or sandy surfaces. There is always an option for everyone, and if you don't feel comfortable walking, you can always stay on board our explorers and do a coastal cruise. So I'll touch on what our explorers are shortly. The expedition team will do a daily briefing, usually over sunset drinks, and they give you a great overview for what's on the agenda for the following day. This is a really good opportunity to talk to the team and ask any questions you may have about the next day's activities. If you're a little bit uncomfortable with the options, you can let them know and they will give you an alternative. There'll be always something for everyone. Coral Expeditions was one of the first cruise operators to employ interpretive guides on our cruises, a tradition that still continues to this day. Each trip includes a mixture of our full-time guest lecturers who join the expedition team and our special guest lecturers who are chosen for that specific local knowledge. They really help immerse everyone in the unique wildlife, cultures, flora and fauna, and the history in the environments that we're visiting. And I think this is a really big part of what expedition cruising is all about. So we have 3 ships in our fleet. They are all purposely built and they're all designed for subtropical climates. They feature wraparound decks, private balconies on some of our staterooms and outdoor areas, dining areas, so you can enjoy those famous Kimberley sunsets. The shallow draft and high movability of our purposely designed expedition ships let you get closer to explore the sheltered bays and the hidden inlets, which are just inaccessible to those larger ships. So this is our Coral Discoverer. This is our first and our eldest ship. She's 15. She's our yacht-like vessel and she has 36 staterooms and a maximum of 72 passengers, so really low numbers on this one. This one is loved by our loyal regulars for an intimate feel and those smaller numbers. So all of our rooms are outward facing and they can be set up as a twin or a junior king as well, and we do have the option for sole use. Coral Adventurer, we started operating in 2019 with our Coral Adventurer. So she has 60 staterooms and a maximum of 120 passengers. Very familiar design across all 3 ships built for our expeditions. There are a range of lovely indoor and outdoor dining areas on this one and lots of places to enjoy the view. All the rooms on this one as well are outward facing with that same wraparound promenade deck. Then we've got our Coral Geographer. So delivered to us in March 2021, therefore our newest to the fleet. She also has 60 staterooms with a maximum of 120 passengers. Again, on all of our ships, every room is outward facing, so you'll never miss out on that view. All rooms are twin share, and we do have the option for sole travellers as well. There is a gym and an internal lift. However, you still need to be able to have a reasonable level of mobility to be able to use the stairs in the event of an emergency. So these are our explorers. So we like to call these our safari jeeps of the sea, and we absolutely love these. As you can see in the top right photo, these are our guests simply walking over a little ramp to get on board of our explorer from our back deck. So they didn't have to climb any stairs. They walk over the ramp straight onto the explorer. They sit down in our padded seats, which have backs as well. And then the explorer gets lowered down on our hydraulic platform and off you go in under 5 minutes. It's amazing. So in the top left photo as well, you'll see our guests getting off our explorers on what we call a wet landing on the beach. So it has a nice ramp that comes down, folds down off the front, off the nose of the explorer, and you simply get guided off by our expedition team. On board our explorers, there is a toilet for remote convenience. There's also an audio system for clear commentary along the way. Like I mentioned, it has the padded comfortable seats to sit on, so you're not bouncing around in the Zodiacs all day. It has the roof, so you're not sitting out in that hot Kimberley sun. And it also has clears that come down the side. So if you do run into some cold or some rainy weather, we can pop those little clears down and you're going to be protected from the wind and the rain. I can't stress enough how amazing these explorers are. They really help with our expeditions and they are just so comfortable. Now we still do have our Zodiacs. They provide another exciting and flexible option for shore excursions and to really help us navigate those inlets and waterways. They're also a really great way to get up close to nature, and we will use the Zodiacs when possible, but they always go side by side our Explorer. So we offer 3 fantastic itineraries to the Kimberley region. So we've got the Kimberley Cruise, which is a 10-night departing Darwin or Broome, and that covers the main icons of the Kimberley. We depart April through to September, and that's with all 3 vessels in the region every year. A frequently asked question that we do get is, which direction should I do? It honestly doesn't matter. The Kimberley has a lot of scattered islands, therefore whichever side of the ship and with the moving tides and the beautiful outdoor sitting areas, you're always going to have a spectacular view no matter which direction you go. So whether you start in Darwin or Broome, you're going to start and you're going to end with the highlight, and there's going to be plenty in between as well, I promise you that. So we also have another 10-night Kimberley voyage. However, this is an arts and culture themed itinerary. Very similar itinerary to the 10-night Kimberley Cruise. However, this Kimberley one is more focused on the arts and culture. There will be opportunities to visit art centres where you can purchase traditional and contemporary art directly from the source. as well as our hand-selected guest lecturers who will share their knowledge on the cultures and traditions of the local communities along the way. The Kimberley itinerary really is an added bonus with getting to visit the Tiwi Islands, as it is a Kimberley icon for sure. Our third itinerary of our Kimberley series is our Kimberley Icons, which is 12 nights, and that departs Darwin and Broome in September only. The itinerary combines our classic 10-night Kimberley itinerary with a visit to the spectacular Rolly Shoals Marine Park and the Ashmore Reef. So this will give you the opportunity to snorkel or dive. Diving is an optional extra, but can be organised on board. We have all the dive gear there. This one is, like I said, amazing for to dive or snorkel. So this has some of the best marine parks, which are home to over 200 species of coral and almost 700 species of fish. So many of which are not found on any of the other coral reefs. So some of the highlights on our Kimberley expeditions include things like this one, King George Falls or Umari Falls. It's Western Australia's highest twin waterfall. Before we reach the falls, you get to enjoy a scenic cruise in our explorers up King George River, where you'll be mesmerised by the orange sandstone cliffs which frame the river. We were lucky enough to cruise up the river at sunrise, which made the cliffs and emerald green waters really stand out. Once we reached the falls, you could take the option to get up closer to the 80-metre waterfall by transferring into our Zodiacs. For the brave and crazy people like myself, you can get very close and go look and have a look under the waterfall, which was an incredible experience. So much fun and lots of laughs. There will be a few opportunities along the way to have a Kimberley shower, so don't forget to pack your swimmers. And we always have towels on board for our guests as well. So the Kimberley is a great place to view multiple rock art galleries, including Jar Island rock galleries, where you'll get to view the Gwion rock art. There are also walking options that range from easy, medium and hard, so everyone's able to experience this incredible artwork and learn the stories. It was really mind-blowing to learn the stories behind the art creations, and to be able to see it in real life was an absolute privilege. So in the afternoon, after visiting the artwork, we head out on the Explorer to Anjo Peninsula, where we got to explore the C-53 plane wreck, whilst our guest lecturer educated us on the remarkable survival story of the US Air Force. While we were here, we got to stretch our legs and explore the surrounding salt flats, searching for bees, birds, crabs, wildflowers, and the boab trees. And to finish off another amazing day, on our way back to the Coral Discoverer, we were surrounded by dolphins. So our short trip back in the Explorer turned into a dolphin cruise, which was a lovely surprise. And that really is expeditions with the flexible itineraries. When things like that present itself in nature, we can slow down and we can stop and sit in nature and watch that experience happen in front of you. Mitchell Falls, that's accessed by a scenic heli flight from a remote beach in Prince Frederick Harbour, which is closed to the ship, where you will be tended in our Zodiacs, or the Explorer to the helicopter. So the flight is approximately 20 minutes each way, and doors off for an added adventure. You'll have a walk around for about an hour at the top of the falls to do a short walk to the lookout and go for a refreshing dip. The helicopter option can be booked on board with our expedition team. It's roughly $890 per person. It is an incredible experience, and I would highly recommend doing this. It's just spectacular being able to see the vast Kimberley by air. This was a big highlight for many of our guests on my trip, and I would recommend packing a lanyard or a strap that you can wrap around your neck to connect your phone or camera to as the doors are off. So for those that opt not to do the heli, you'll be able to enjoy a cruise up Porosus Creek to spot wildlife. Porosus Creek is located in Prince Frederick Harbour, which is one of the Kimberley's most spectacular locations. The harbour is dotted with islands, lined with mangroves and monsoon rainforests, so make sure you pack your binoculars because the mangroves are a perfect hiding spot for crocodiles and bird life. So you get white-bellied sea eagles and other birds of prey are often seen here. At low tide, expansive mudflats will reveal large populations of mud skippers and mangrove crabs. So as we aim for the 2 shore excursions daily, the guests that did the helicopter will get a chance to do the Porosus Creek as well. And then there's an opportunity for the guests to go up the creek again on the opposite tide to search for wildlife again if they don't want to do the helicopter. So King Cascades is reached by Prince Regent River, where you'll enjoy a leisurely cruise in the Explorer. It's a good opportunity to spot bird life and hopefully some crocodiles. We were lucky enough to have a crocodile greet us as we entered the cascade. The cruise up the river is approximately 27 kilometres, so Therefore, we are one of the small handful of operators that can actually visit this majestic spot due to the comfort and the power of our custom-built Explorer tenders. It's just simply too far to travel into these falls and those inflatable Zodiacs. So King Cascades is beautiful. It's a terraced waterfall that's one of the most photographed in the Kimberley. Falling from a considerable height, water tumbles down at down the staggered terrace of Kimberley sandstone, which has layers of moss and ferns, which looks like a beautiful hanging garden. The explorers can nose right up into the cascade and give everyone that chance to have another Kimberley shower. So make sure you pack your swimmers, and our crew will have a nice fresh towel. You might want to take a windproof jacket though, as it can be a bit fresh if you are all wet on the way back to the ship. So this is a significant site in the early history of Australia. Philip Parker King named Kerring Bay after he beached his leaking vessel, the HMC Mermaid, to do repairs. So while stranded on this remote coastline for 17 days, the ship's carpenter carved HMC Mermaid 1820 into the bottle-shaped trunk of a boab tree near the beach. 200 years later, the Mermaid boab tree has split into two trunks, and it's about 12 metres wide now. There's a nice bench walk near the backwater, which is a great opportunity to stretch your legs and to view a local bowerbird nest before returning to the ship. That's a really nice story to hear from the guest lecturers when you go on one of our Kimberley trips. So Montgomery Falls, it appears twice a day as the sea recedes massive 11-metre tides, some of the biggest tides in the world. We set our alarms early and we head off at dawn to witness the reef emerging at sunrise, which was just incredible. As the tide falls, Montgomery Reef rises from the ocean in a cascade of rushing water, revealing a flat-top reef. So we cruise along the inlet in the Explorers, while as some of the guests took the opportunity to transfer into our Zodiacs to get a closer look at the water gushing off the reef and the bird life, taking advantage of the emerging reef, feeding on the marine life that's left exposed in their rock pools. So part of the Kimberley Cruise is spent enjoying sunset drinks on remote beach locations, depending on the tides, of course. During your voyage, you may get to enjoy sunset drinks on a nearby sand cay overlooking Monty Reef, like we did. So the guests were having so much fun on the sand cay, dancing to ABBA. They didn't want to leave, and it was a really great way to finish another amazing day in the Kimberley. Horizontal Falls was honestly, hands down, one of the best things I have ever done. Even just to witness the faces of our guests coming back from their adventure through the falls was so uplifting, and the whole ship was buzzing on adrenaline. We had our skipper Adam, who led us through the falls on one of our Zodiacs. Adam made us feel like we were in very safe hands, explained everything thoroughly, and most of all, gave us an epic experience. Even our eldest guest on board, who was in their mid-80s, got to experience this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we're asking to go again and again. So we even had a few fist pumps from them as we coming back through the Horizontal Falls, which is amazing. It makes you feel very special. So we have our Zodiacs with our expedition team just as you're about to head into the falls to capture your photos. So you don't need to worry about taking your camera or your GoPro or anything like that. You can just enjoy the experience. A little tip as well, the ship will be anchored in Talbot Bay, not far from the falls, so make sure you look over the sides of the ship at night, because you'll get to see a whole heap of tawny sharks that are attracted to the lights at the bottom of our ships. And there was about 50 sharks when we were on there and had a look. It was amazing. Nares Point is a great example of the incredible rock formations that you'll witness plenty throughout the Kimberley voyage. So if you are a rock enthusiast, you will be in heaven. To get to Nares Point, you'll enjoy a cruise through whirlpool tides. They're incredible as well. That itself is an amazing adventure. And I learned the stories of the sailors of their challenges over the years trying to navigate the extreme tides of the Kimberley. There's a beautiful beach nearby to Nares Point where you can beachcomb and search for microbats in caves, crawl for footprints, and search for native flowers. So that's a pretty amazing day. So subject to weather and tides, we visit the Lassipede Islands. The Low Islands are a nature reserve, an important bird area supporting up to 18,000 breeding pairs of brown boobies, as well as a significant breeding area for the green sea turtles. So we explore the island's lagoon by Zodiac and Explorer to spot many of the different species of bird and marine life. I've never seen so many turtles in the same place at the same time. It was truly amazing. We've also received reports that a crocodile is hanging around and recently got caught on camera feasting on a deceased turtle, so have your cameras ready. The Kimberley's not short on wildlife. There are plenty of opportunities to spot white-bellied sea eagles and other birds of prey. During low tide at Process Creek, which I mentioned earlier, is home to an abundance of wildlife. So crocodiles frequent these waters, and you'll often find mud skippers and mangrove crabs on the mud flaps on the low tides. Seasons in the Kimberley are the waterfall seasons, which are generally March to May. However, due to rain this year and scheduled for next year, there's definitely going to still be some waterfalls later in the year. Then May to July is a dry season when the weather is cooler and the landscape colours are vibrant and green. And then there's the whale season, which is now, July to October. It's the best time to sight humpback whales, which migrate to the Kimberley waters. And we've already received reports this month that there's been a few whale sightings. Sadly, we are coming to the end of our Kimberley journey. If you have a look at the top of your screen, you'll see a little chat icon. Please pop your questions in there and I'll try and answer them all. I'll just give you a minute to pop those in there and I'll just sum up what we've covered today. So at Coral Expeditions, we've built our reputation on offering a truly immersive and authentic expedition and experience. It's more relevant today than ever, and it really sets us apart from the pack. So why choose Coral Expeditions? We focus on the destination. We have a true expedition ethos. We have that warm Australian hospitality, our purposely built ships, our unique explorer tenders. These are second to none. Local expertise that's unrivaled. We are all inclusive and we are Australian owned, operated and flagged. And I think that's really important in today's day. So thank you so much everyone for joining me today. I'll just quickly jump into the questions box and see if we've got anything. I will try and get to everyone. If I don't get to your questions, you can find our reservation contact details on the screen, who will be happy to answer anything that we haven't covered today. Or you can reach out to your preferred travel agent, of course. If you did join in late or you would like to watch this webinar again or send to family and friends, we'll send a recorded version out to everyone that's registered. So this takes about 24 hours to get the recorded version out to you all. We have released a Kimberley documentary. If you haven't already seen it, it is on our website and on Channel 10. I believe it's on Catch Up, but yes, you can just find it on our website if that's easiest. Yeah. If I'll just jump in and I'll see if we've got any questions. All right, I've got one here that says, do I need to wear wet shoes? Yes, so we do wet landings, which is you can go barefoot if you want to, but lots of people pack reef shoes or Tiva sandals or any kind of shoes that they don't mind getting wet. And then you just pop them in a little bag into your backpack and put your dry shoes on for the rest of the walks. Bill has said, is there typically any water flow in September? Not normally, Bill, but we have had a really wet season, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do have a couple, but it's not going to be the big, massive waterfalls like you see in waterfall season. Nigel, how do you ensure your guests don't get eaten by crocodiles when swimming? Good question, Nigel. We actually don't swim in the ocean where there's crocodiles, so we do go up to higher creeks where crocodiles can't get into, and then yeah, so we just always stay safe. We've always got our guides, our expedition team, they're always standing on the edge of the boat, but yes, very, very rarely, almost never do we enter the water. Do we have a fridge in the room? No, we don't have a fridge in the room, unfortunately, but if you do have anything you want to keep stored, you're welcome to go and speak to the guests behind our bar and in our kitchen area, and they will happily store it for you. Just chat to the purses on board. Ty's also said, do we have lunch while doing excursions? Yes, so we'll either head back to the ship for our lunch or there'll be a lunch prepared for when we get there. There'll always be our meals included while you're on board. Edward, is there access to drinking water on excursions? We have our filtered water on board our ships and we give out drink bottles in all the rooms. So we do recommend that you fill up those while we're just before we go out on an excursion. Our crew generally do travel with a couple of bottles of water, but we do ask you before we go on an excursion, can everyone go and fill up their water bottles, please? Ian, what is the pricing? So all of our pricing is advertised on our website. If you jump onto Coral Expeditions, everything is on there for you to have a look at. For the rest of 2024, we do have 25% off for winter with the whales. And then our 2025 pricing has been released. You'll find that on our website, or you can check in with your travel agent as well. John, do you visit Camden Harbour? We didn't on my trip. I can double check for you though and let you know, John. If you want to just send an email, or pop your email in there, or send an email to explore at Coral Expeditions, which is the email that's on the final page. And yes, I can let you know ASAP. So how do you cost for solo travelers? Thanks, Kat. So for 2024, our Kimberley trips, we have our waived soul supplement for the rest of the year. And then into next year, we do have a couple of allocations as well. That will be a really good question for our reservations team. They'll be able to tell you the exact dates. Thank you so much, everyone. They were really good questions. I love when we get questions at the end. If you've got any more, please feel free to pop them in there. I'll keep reading through. Otherwise, like I said, there's that explore@coralexpeditions.com. If you send an email through to them, that's our beautiful reservations team. They'll be able to answer your questions very quickly. I'll just give it another minute. All right. Thanks, everyone. That has taken the time to listen today. If you are considering booking, please reach out to our reservations team on the screen or your travel agent. If you have booked already, you're about to have the trip of a lifetime. There really is nothing truly as spectacular as the Kimberley, and there's no better way, I believe, than to experience it with the Coral Expeditions, who have been visiting for 35 years. And we will, I promise, provide you with the ultimate Kimberley experience the Australian way. Thanks so much, everyone, for taking the time out of your day, and we look forward to seeing you very soon on board. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.